The name of my firm is Shrader Landscape Design, or known as Shrader Design also. I chose Richard Shapiro's showroom because I think Richard's probably one of the most talented architects and designers out there working. Well, LCDQ is such an amazing 3-day event. Feels like more like a week because there's so many things happening. From the beginning party to the ending party, and getting to see people from all over the US is really exciting. I believe that it's probably one of the best design events in the United States. I think it brings together some of the most creative, interesting people. But the energy here, I think, is really what makes it. I think being in Los Angeles within this amazing creative community of people, there's not a lot of attitude. There's a lot of comfort. There's a lot of, of joining in, and people are really excited to see each other, which I think is what makes the event versus being a big design competition. It's more of a big hug in a way. So that makes sense. I chose David Hicks for several reasons. One, he is legendary in his sense of simplicity. I think he's known for his ability to organize space incredibly well. Towards the end of his life, he was preparing a book called My Kind of Garden, and unfortunately he didn't get to see the final publishing of it, but it really showcases some of the most exquisitely done, well-organized gardens. And in my library, it is the most used book that I've got. And I just love how he organizes exterior spaces. He also, his own family house, he created a series of 10 enclosed gardens that each room in the interior has a connection to the exterior, which is a way that I've always thought. So of any interior designer that I've ever known or worked with, I think that his sense of sensibility of doing a seamless transition from inside to out made a lot of sense for me. So my window is going to hopefully be executed in such a way that it's timeless, it's simple, but it also has a very landscape-oriented feel to it, because he always had such that sense about him. So that's what I was hoping for. I would say it's timelessness. I would say that it's as chic today as it was 40 and 50 years ago when it was being done. I love looking at something that looks as fresh today as it was when it was installed 40 and 50 years ago. And for the work that I try to do, I really try to leave behind a garden that is going to be used by family and friends, for generations, hopefully. It's not just done for today's day, it's done for many days in the future. I was looking at a lot of landscapes, and I wanted to get something that was somewhat European in feel, but also looked similar to the California landscape. So I found an incredible Pierre Frey wall covering that actually has pine trees and what looks like eucalyptus, but the understory is sandy, gravelly, and some agave. So there's a transition from going from a California landscape to maybe a south of France landscape, so you kind of can't tell what it really is. So I'm going to be wallpapering the entire back and 2 full panels of that Pierre Frey wallpaper. And I have found 2 bronze dogs that will be placed in the windows facing each other, because when you go through his book, his entire family, including himself, was always photographed with dogs. So for me, there was this great connection of finding something as an antiquity. The dogs are 17th century bronze, and they'll be sitting on 17th century stone plinths. So I was trying to bring in some of that history, architecture, antiquity, and it's all going to be backdropped off of the Pierre Frey wallpaper. Pierre Frey wall covering and La Maison Francaise are providing the dogs for me. And it's as simple as that.